crash that changed Marshall forever is still remembered each year. All right here on this edition of MU Report.
From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for complete Marshall University news. You're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon. I'm Cabria James.
And I'm Carrie Zuber. Welcome to MU Report, our fifth statewide show of the fall 2016 semester. This newscast is coming to you from the studios of Marshall University, with news from around campus and the community. We're glad you're joining us here at West Virginia Public Broadcasting. Now, on to our top story. In a stunning upset driven in part by college students, Donald Trump will become the 45th President of the United States. Chantel Foster joins us now to give a Marshall University perspective on the national mood for change.
It was not a long night this election, even though many thought it might be. In most states, the very highly educated broke for Hillary Clinton, but Trump's performance among college educated across the spectrum was strong and some say surprising. While the national news media and others were wrong, West Virginians apparently never doubted, at least in large numbers. They did send a Democrat to Charleston, but sent a strong message nationally that it wanted a more conservative outlook on the role of government.
It's actually a little surprising, I think, that Trump wins the election. Although, I mean, he did a really good job sort of reaching a population that I think didn't think they were being spoken to, and they showed up and they voted, and it put him over the top.
Marshall University students also apparently voted in larger numbers, breaking both for Trump and Clinton. President-elect Trump said soon after his victory he wanted to unite a sharply divided America. But, Carrie, Cabria, many people say any words about unity must be met with caution because they argue Trump's path to the White House was the exact opposite, angry and divisive.
As Trump starts to work on national issues, the tri-state area is working to solve problems of its own. West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky are teaming up to help the region heal from an ongoing drug epidemic. And as Tom Jenkins reports, Marshall is playing a big role on finding a new way to address addiction.
Within the past 3 months, the tri-state area has felt the effects of America's opiate epidemic the hardest. With alarming rates of overdoses in each state, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia are now working together to combat this problem.
Huntington is the epicenter of the drug epidemic in West Virginia. And it's so critical that we approach this issue with our partners not only within West Virginia, but across state lines.
The attorney generals from all 3 states met at the New Life Church in Barbersville to meet with people affected by addiction and law enforcement members to find a new way to combat this epidemic. The Ohio Attorney General's office has made it their goal to put more of an emphasis on educating students when they're young.
We would not decide to teach writing or English or math by waiting until the 5th grade or the 6th grade, and then skipping a few more years and then doing it again when we feel like it in the 10th or 11th grade. We've got to get consistent. We've got to do it every single year. We've got to do that in every school.
Marshall University has also begun to fight back with education. Recently, the university's medical program released a statement saying that they would be searching for a director in addiction crisis.
A way to augment our strategies against opiate addiction in this region should probably include recruitment of an additional person with a skill set allowing for the development of training programs for doctors to become addiction specialists.
Marshall hopes to find a director in addiction crisis by next year, where they begin teaching students how to use things like naloxone in a crisis scenario. Tom Jenkins, MU Report.
Officials warn the measures to create a healthier tri-state will be costly, but the University of Kentucky is partnering with Marshall on a large grant from the National Institutes of Health.
As Rebecca Turnbull reports, Marshall will get nearly $700,000 over the course of 4 years to fund research efforts.
As of last year, West Virginia was ranked the 4th worst state in the nation for health disparities by the United Health Foundation, and most of those disparities have been found to stem from the Appalachian region. However, the University of Kentucky is lending Marshall $640,000 from an NIH medical grant to address problems in a region both universities share. Marshall healthcare professionals say they look forward to the unique collaboration.
We see this as positioning our institution to study the population that we take care of, the population that, frankly, we probably have the best insights into how to take care of.
Marshall is using the grant provisions to develop its clinical and translational science program. Research administrators say advancing the program helps scientists and physicians work better together to deliver research findings to the patients who need them.
Has really lifted up the quality of the research that's being done in this environment, and it's really involved a broader segment of the basic research population.
Clinical and translational science professionals say all of the work they are doing through the grant goes towards the goal of improving the lives of Appalachia's residents.
I think we really need to not just keep doing more of the same for our patients. I think, we need to do better for our patients, and I think our patients deserve the best possible care we can deliver.
Not only will the grant collaboration work to improve the state's health ranking, but it will also help to establish Marshall University as a leader in the challenging and changing world of healthcare. Rebecca Turnbull, MU Report.
Marshall administrators say the grant money will be used to fund research, clinical trials, and a joint program with West Virginia University.
And as Marshall plans for the future, it also is taking time to look back at a moment that changed the university forever. Every fall, the community gathers on campus to remember the 75 lives lost in the 1970 plane crash. As ELAYNA CONARD reports, the memorial serves as a chance for the community to come together in memory of those who were once a part of it.
Students and the community will soon gather around this fountain to pay respect and honor the lives lost in the Marshall plane crash.
It means a lot. It's a chance for us all to come together despite being busy with hectic schedules towards finals week, just to come together as one, not only as a campus but as a community.
With the start of November, students say they have many things on their mind. Thanksgiving break, upcoming finals, but on November 14th, all students will be thinking about the same thing.
I think it's great that we can all come together, especially one day out of the year, to think about what happened and then just express how we feel how it happened and how we cope with it and how we deal with it and how we make that as to what Marshall stands for, so what Marshall is.
November 14th, 1970 is a day the university will never forget. Students say the memory of the tragic event creates a bond within them, and the memorial service is something that keeps this bond alive.
Just the commitment for the students to attend. I mean, everyone, I know the professors will even allow students to, come to class a little later, or they'll even cancel class just for us all to be a part of this event.
Marshall University's president, Jerome Gilbert, says the memorial service is the bridge that connects the university's past to its future.
It's important for our students to be connected with such a valuable and important part of our past that defines the university and defines our athletic programs, and many alumni are still impacted and will be forever by that event.
And the memory of the 75 lives on. ELAYNA CONARD, MU Report.
One new twist to the yearly memorial happening on the football field. Players will wear special helmets which commemorate the helmets worn by the 1971 football team.
Marshall employees are navigating a frustrating situation lately involving the most important of issues, their paychecks. As Samantha GODBY reports, employees are still waiting for the state's payroll system to switch from twice a month to every 2 weeks.
A state-led change in payroll scheduling has caused some confusion among university employees as Marshall struggles to get in line with the state requirement.
It's not making sense to us to say, we don't know when it's going to start. It could be this year, it could be coming up, maybe it isn't, and so forth. That's not as I say, it's no way to run a railroad.
The scheduled conversion date was October 28th. However, when the date approached, university employees received an email stating, quote, "The state of West Virginia has once again delayed implementation of the conversion to biweekly pay for Marshall University faculty and staff."
We just don't know, and the uncertainty, I think, is what's really a little more disturbing.
When the fiscal year began, university officials chose to withhold money from individual checks in an attempt to make the transition smoother. Now that the official transition is nowhere in sight, the university has announced its intention to return this money to employees in an additional check on November 23rd, just before the holidays.
At the time that decision was made, given the dates that we were supposed to go, that was the proper action. It's just when we keep missing these target dates is what creates the real issues.
Senior Deputy State Auditor Mike Sizemore says, quote, Marshall's transition to this pay schedule is a tall order because they will be taking over many of the deductions that are typically handled at a state level, end quote. He also explained that he believes Marshall is on track due to the 2 years the state needed to transition to the new system themselves.
Everybody will be paid for what they have worked is the key concept that everybody kind of needs to understand.
So what does all of this information really mean? The university says it's the state that keeps delaying these changes. However, the state says it's the university that just doesn't have the technology up and running to get started. All this information adds up to a lot of confusion, and the sense among university employees is just that, confused. With the ever-looming question, what the heck is going on? Samantha Godby, MU Report.
Marshall has proposed new dates to the state to try to speed things up, but officials say don't look for a decision anytime soon.
With a rough football season and finals just around the corner, tensions are rising for Marshall faculty and students. However, as Cassell Lim reports, Marshall is helping those under pressure to shake off the stress.
There are many ways students here at Marshall University can use to distress from classes and assignments, but one of the ways is Zumba. Twice a week, dozens of students gather together, allocating 1 hour of their time to shake it off.
And I feel like that brings confidence to people so much, because when you realize just what you can do and just how freely you can express yourself, you just find that you are capable of so much more than you realize at first.
As winter approaches and the weather gets colder, Zumba might be a way to help students stay warm and active indoors. It is no doubt that dancing produces endorphins, making one happier. But to some, it means more than that.
Although Zumba consists routines choreographed by the instructor, it is unique in a way students can express themselves and make those routines their own. Emily says her goal is to make everybody feel like they are in a music video, instead of just working out in a regular class.
I went through a phase in high school where I became anorexic. At one point I was eating less than 500 calories a day. My ribs were showing, and through Zumba and through physical fitness, I just realized that, hey, I can be healthy and I can love my body.
Zumba is a way for some students to lose weight. Others might use it as a way to distress as classes get busier. But to Emily, Zumba was a step to her overall well-being, both physically and mentally. Cassell Lim, MU Report.
Classes take place at 8 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays in the Marshall Recreation Center. Organizers say if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, you're welcome to come in and, as they say, shake it off.
That's all the time we have for today for this edition of MU Report. Remember, you can catch our program every 2 weeks on West Virginia Public Broadcasting. Today's show will also re-air Monday at 1, but you can always find us on YouTube. Our advisor, Dr. Chris Swindell, and you can contact him with any questions or comments, swindell@marshall.edu. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Carrie Zuber.
And I'm Cabria James. Have a great day.